Alright, so the World Cup has just started today, and I wanted to do a quick vlog. I haven't done one for a while. Have a few in production, but I just haven't completed them yet, so I should get them up hopefully soon. But World Cup is always great. I was born in the year of the World Cup, so it's kind of in my blood. I've been playing soccer since I was 7. Played on the front range, played competitively, was varsity, high school, 3-year letter winner, won state my junior year, played and started at every single field position my junior year, except for one game, the championship game. I was sick, so, and then my senior year I was captain, and we made it to state again. But tried out for University of Washington, tried to walk on, didn't really have any connections or roots up here, so didn't really get a good shot. So, and I also actually tried out for the Sounders before they were actually MLS team, and that was fun, and I did pretty well, but again, I didn't make the cut. So I just have played rec ball, usually end up being a ringer, and then I've taken a hiatus recently, and usually only play at Golden Gardens when I bring my ball with me. So, but I still love the game very much. Really excited about this World Cup. Looks like a good set of groups, and I think the final rounds will be pretty epic. So I'm going to go through actually my predictions, and I'll probably do some graphics around me, as you'll probably see later. But right now it's the lo-fi version on paper. So Group A, which there was 2 games today, both ended in draws, and that's actually one of the reasons why in the United States it has that bad reputation. It was a 1-1 Mexico versus South Africa. South Africa is the host this year, 2010, and Mexico should have won that game, I think, but a tie. Home team usually has a slight advantage for whatever reason. You know how it goes when you're at home. More motivated. And then France tied Uruguay 0-0, and that's about is the worst type of game. But the thing with soccer, and you got to just know the game, is there's a lot of subtleties to it. Gameplay, ball movement, defensive stuffs. You get good striker attacks, even if you get it close to goal. But I mean, when you're working those triangles and when you're getting some pretty nice showmanship, dribbling skills out there, that's just exciting. One of the things that's better about soccer than other sports is it's just constantly moving, or it should be constantly moving. And so the only other sport maybe that's kind of like that, well, I mean, hockey and basketball kind of have a constant moving, but there's so many breaks in the action, especially in basketball, and then football especially. You go for 5 seconds and then it's done. And then, so one of the criticism is low scoring games, and I've always said, well, why don't we just each goal 7 points, every time you kick it over the net it's worth 3 points, and then you got, that's all that football does. It's just because the football game is so high scoring, it's because the artificial scoring method. So soccer, you just gotta appreciate it for the subtleties, and it's just a beautiful sport, and it's really great balance of finesse and then strength, speed. So, but as far as my predictions, I would say Group A will be number 1 Mexico, number 2 France. Nothing's changed with the draws today. Group B will be, I think, number 1 Argentina, number 2 Nigeria. Group C, I think, will be number 1 England, number 2 United States. The United States plays England tomorrow on the 12th, and so that should really set the tone. And I think that this is a rare case that actually a draw would be fine with me. I was born in Oxford, England, and then I have 2 American parents, and I've lived most of my life, or pretty much all of my life, in the United States. And so I have, again, I have that dual citizenship of UK and US, and so seeing a good, well-scoring, well-played match when it ends up in a tie, I'd be perfectly happy. So Group D, I think, will be Germany, and number 2 Australia. Australia, that'd be kind of an upset, but I think that'd be great. Group E would be Netherlands, number 1, and number 2 Cameroon. Group F, Italia. That's one of my favorite teams always. Number 2, I think, will be Slovakia. Group G, Brazil, and number 2 Portugal. So Group G, Brazil number 1, Portugal number 2. Portuguese speaking countries. Group H, we have Spain #1, and #2 would be Switzerland. So Spain is probably the odds-on favorite if you look around. They probably have the most stacked team, but they don't seem to be able to play up to the level on the World Cup, and so it'd be pretty remarkable and pretty great if they go far, because Spain actually is one of my favorite teams too. I have Spanish in me, Hispanic in me, so on my dad's side. For the second round, I think the matchups will end up being Mexico versus Nigeria, England versus Australia, Germany versus USA. That'll be a repeat of a second round from years past. Argentina versus France, Netherlands versus Slovakia, Brazil versus Switzerland, Italy versus Cameroon, Spain versus Portugal. And so those would be some really great matchups. I'd be thrilled if that's how the second round turns out. So in the quarterfinals, I think it's going to be Netherlands versus Brazil, Mexico versus England, Argentina versus Germany, and then I think it'll be Italy versus Spain. And so that would be an absolutely epic quarterfinals. And semifinals, I think this is how it's going to come out. I think it's going to be England versus Brazil, and then Germany versus Italy. I mean, can you believe that? Would you believe that? England versus Brazil, Germany versus Italy. That'd be huge. So the third place, which probably will surprise some people, but I think it'll be Brazil versus Germany, and that'd be great matchup. Two of the best teams of all time in World Cup history. And then for the final, my prediction is England versus Italy. And so there's a little bit of bias, but those two teams have the potential for it too. So England versus Italy final, and I think that the Italians have a good chance to go back to back, but we'll see. Again, probably the wild cards I'd say would be Spain and Argentina. Netherlands always, the Dutch always play well, and then a real long shot would be a miracle year if the United States makes it far. But stranger things have happened, so honestly, I think that I'd like to actually mark Landon Donovan. I think that I could do all right. Stuff that guy. And then, but as far as this World Cup, it's going to be great. So I hope everybody has a great time watching the games. And then you just got to change your appreciation if you're watching soccer that from typical American sports. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's your loss. It's your choice. But I'm really psyched for the World Cup, and I hope get in touch with some of my old friends, soccer playing friends, and yeah, good times. Earthian, baby, living it, loving it.
Perspective Earthian Productions.